Hi dear friends and subscribers of Cricket Happenings. How are you all doing? It's a even though it's a very short break, I'm just coming back from this Cricket Happenings show just to warmly welcome you all, dear fans and subscribers who have been watching my Cricket Happenings show on a pretty regular basis. Well, this is just an experiment from the new place, just wanting to test the waters here. So I wouldn't say I'm not actually resumed my cricket happening show in full, which will be, as there is some work going on over here, so things need to be really on the mend, in the sense everything has to really get spick and span. That's the time a cricket happening show will be at full throttle. Well, as far as the cricket, well, there's been a lot of cricket happening, but unfortunately I've not been there. I know there is some glare going on. Well, a lot of things might be said by you, dear friends and subscribers, but just bear with me. As I said, I'm just testing something, and that's the precise reason I'm sitting here and speaking to you on this Cricket Happening show. And so let me not waste any further time here. Today, as I said, it's just an experiment to see how things are going on from this new place, and probably I would say by next week I think things could get regularized, and this daily cricket happening show would be in full flight once more, hopefully. But right now, I know you might be having some sort of a thing saying that the quality is not good, some sunnish. Well, as I said, it's in a very rough state. But I just wanted to just test the waters here. Well, so let's start off from where I left off. As I said, today on this Cricket Happening show, when I'm talking to you, dear fans and subscribers, this is an amazing match, which is amazing series, which has ended at Headingley in Leeds. What a match that was. Yesterday, England were absolutely backs to the wall, stuck 57 for 5. And then today, they lost the match by 100 runs. But England batsmen, I thought they did the latter half of the batsmen, even though they were 57 for 5 after Damika Prasad struck it pretty big yesterday. I thought the English batsmen did a wonderful job, and the order of the day was to survive on that pitch. And that was the precise mantra that England had. And well, they definitely did it to a nicety. Just one more ball and England could have survived. Well, that ball, 9 wickets were down. Moeen Ali, who has really cemented a spot in the English team now for sure, because this was a wonderful knock. Contrary to expectations, he actually chiseled out an unbeaten maiden century, and spare a thought for this bloke Moeen Ali, who had to really was left high and dry. And James Anderson was facing the last over. Shaminder Ranga was bowling. He had to survive 6 balls. He survived 4 pretty well. And in the penultimate ball, Shaminder Ranga, as you know, he generates a lot of bounce. And this was a ball which James Anderson couldn't avoid actually fending it. And let me tell you, James Anderson played, I would say, a very big role, because he actually scored only 0, but look at the balls that he occupied. He occupied 54 balls to score that 0. He was giving a very good partnership with Moeen Ali. Moeen Ali was getting absolute support from James Anderson. But then, as I said, the penultimate ball was the one which, even if Anderson could have survived one more ball, after this one more ball, the final ball of the match, the penultimate ball of the second test match at Headingley in Leeds, and James Anderson was gone, fending the ball, and he was caught, and there was absolute jubilation for the Sri Lankans as Sri Lanka won the 2-match series against England 1-0. What a feeling for them. There are a lot of words being spoken. In fact, if you look at the amount of needle that this particular test match had, we know what Mahela Jayawardene spoke about Alistair Cook retorting to that, and then we also had a lot of stuff happening on the field. And cool as a cucumber captain Angelo Matthews actually led by example yesterday with a monumental innings of 160, and that was the reason that Angelo Matthews was today named man of the match and man of the series. Why not? He definitely deserved it. He played a great hand, I thought, and but as I said, this is a cool as a cucumber captain. But today he definitely lost his cool, because there was a lot of words being spoken by both the players, especially the Sri Lankans. Angelo Matthews was actually stopped by the umpires. So there was a lot of needle going on, and that was something which just really came as a surprise for me, because Angelo Matthews is normally very unruffled. He's a very cool as a cucumber, but definitely you could see the amount of tension building at Headingley Leeds, and look at the way both the teams had actually fought it out. And as I said, Angelo Matthews was actually stopped by the umpires a couple of times. He had some words with Joe Root and a lot of other England players, and then finally, the only thing that Sri Lanka could do was to help make the ball talk. But well, as I said, England definitely came out with a determination. They did that till the penultimate ball. Let's have a look at the card here. Looking at the card here, look at the way they played. They started off with Joe Root and Moeen Ali at the crease when they were 57 for 5 yesterday, when Liam Plunkett was out to a loose shot. And after that, the partnership pulled on to 124 with Joe Root. As you know, predominantly he's the one who can really stand there like a rock. Well, he definitely did, consuming 108 balls with 31 runs with 4 fours, because Nuwan Pradeep actually was the one who actually got the first wicket today by getting the wicket of Joe Root was caught by Tirmane of the bowling of Pradeep for 31 with 4 fours, and that was the first wicket that he got. So that made the score 124 for 6. That was in the 50. That was the time the first wicket fell for the day on the fifth and final day. And after that, it was Matt Pryor at the crease. Now Matt Pryor, well, he did his best. He made 10 runs of 37 balls before Damika Prasad, who actually had taken 4 wickets yesterday, picked up his 5th wicket by getting the wicket of Matt Pryor, who normally there was some well-directed body bowling from the Sri Lankans, and Damika Prasad once again had Pryor deflecting the delivery. Kaushal Silva picking up the ball, and he was gone for 10, and he played 37 balls. After that, that made the score 160 for 7, and Sri Lanka were definitely closing in on a victory here, with Moeen Ali staying there at the crease. And in walked in Chris Jordan. Now Chris Jordan, we all know what a bloke he is. He really likes to hit the leather of the ball. He doesn't like to really hang around. But today it was a different Chris Jordan. As I said, every batsman, every player who walked in was determined to do his bit. Chris Jordan did his bit there by contributing 21 with 2 fours. But the man who stayed there, and then Jordan was a victim when Rangana had him LBW for 21, which made the score 212 for 8. After that, Stuart Broad walked in. Stuart Broad, well, he definitely did his bit by really blocking the balls, because Moeen Ali at the other end was playing a knock. Normally Moeen Ali is a very aggressive player, but he eschewed all his stroke making, and he really started playing for England according to the needs of the situation, as he really got himself stuck, in the sense he really started digging himself over there, and started blocking the deliveries. He was actually not really getting tempted into any false stroke or loose stroke, and it was an unblemished display from Moeen Ali, which was carrying on. And Stuart Broad was then a victim, as he was LBW bowled Herat for a duck. After that, James Anderson walked in, and that was around 228 for 9. Moeen Ali was there at the other end, and Moeen Ali has also got to an unbeaten century there. And what a knock! As I said, Moeen Ali completely, I would have never expected that. From 57 for 5, England reached 249. So look, as I said, there was a real determination, a sort of a real will in the England sides, as they wanted to see to it that they had to save the match, and that was the precise thing that they were doing. They definitely did it till, as I said, till the penultimate ball. And then once Broad was gone, it was still a long way to go. Almost 20 overs were left. If you look at it, 96.4 overs, that was the time Stuart Broad's wicket fell, and the tension was absolutely palpable there at Headingley in Leeds. And Sri Lanka would have thought that, they definitely had the match at the wraps. But let me tell you, James Anderson absolutely quashed those hopes that Sri Lanka had, but started frustrating them by just staying at the wicket, blocking the deliveries, giving ample support to Moeen Ali, who whenever he got an opportunity used to score off. But whatever the strokes that he played was really attractive to watch. And Moeen Ali, what a knock! I mean, I would say Moeen Ali. Let's spare a thought from Moeen Ali, remaining unbeaten on a maiden unbeaten century, 108 not out, in which he consumed 281 deliveries, and he had 17 fours in that effort. What an effort that was! And as I said, James Anderson, who has done all the hard work, as I said, he has done a wonderful job, because as I said, the match was looking under wraps at a particular time, but I thought the person, James Anderson, really started frustrating the Sri Lankan bowlers, and well, he did that in getting not, I mean, he had faced 55 deliveries, not scoring a single run. So that would give you an idea as to how he actually dug himself along with Moeen Ali. And finally, when probably one thought that Sri Lanka are going to find it tough, and it was the final over, the ball was given to Shaminda Aranga, and Angelo Matthews in the post-match press conference precisely said that he trusted his Shaminda Aranga, gave the ball to Aranga and told him, here is the ball and I know you can do it. And Shaminda Aranga, well, the 4 balls, Anderson blocked it very well, left it very well, but the 5th, the penultimate delivery of the Headingley Leeds match was something that Anderson would like to forget, as Anderson got a real snorter of a delivery. As you know, Shaminda Aranga is a person who can, normally itself he gets a natural bounce, and if you give him a bouncy pitch, he can be deadly according to me, and he has lots of pace too. So he generated that sort of a bounce. It was a real rip snorter that James Anderson received, trying to fend off from his face, and the ball ballooned into the air. Rangana Herath gleefully took the catch. It was all over. James Anderson sunk to his knees, probably cursing himself, and Moeen Ali had to go and console him. And as I said, one has to spare a thought for this bloke, Moeen Ali. What a player England has unearthed here. And Moeen Ali, and anybody who comes and plays such a wonderful knock, I don't see any reason that Moeen Ali should not be a permanent, should not have a permanent place in this England, as far as test matches are concerned for England. What a knock. Really felt sorry for Moeen Ali after contributing 108, his maiden test century, in probably in only his 2nd test match. And well, I just don't have, I mean, this is something that it was truly stupendous, and it was only a shame that Moeen Ali had to finish on the losing side after doing all the hard work. But 249 all, but definitely credit to the English players for really sticking it out and making Sri Lanka work for the victory, and Sri Lanka finally getting on to a 1-0 series victory and going home now to take on probably the South Africans. And England would be resting, but England would have to get really prepared right now, as India would be clashing with England, which would be the next fixture for England. Let's have a look at the bowling figures. And 249 all out England, and it was the Sri Lankans taking the series by winning the Headingley Test leads by 100 runs. Let's have a look at the bowling figures. Nuwan Pradeep, 13 overs, 2 maidens, 55 runs and 1 wicket. For Nuwan Pradeep, I thought he bowled pretty well. Ranga was the hero there. He had only 1 wicket, and look at that wicket that he did. He took the most important wicket of James Anderson with the penultimate delivery. 23.5 overs, 10 maidens, 38 runs and 1 wicket. Rangana Herath really bowled well. 42 overs, 16 maidens, 59 runs and 3 wickets. And look at Damika Prasad, who was the architect, I would say, because he was the one who made early inroads into the England batting, and England were absolutely faltering yesterday. 22 overs, 5 maidens, 50 runs and 5 wickets to his name. And then Angelo Matthews, 10 overs, 3 maidens, none for 16. Mahela Jayawardene also wheeled up 6 overs with 2 maidens and 13 runs. And as I said, Angelo Matthews was named man of the match, but the player of the series it was a joint award which was shared by James Anderson of England and Angelo Matthews of Sri Lanka. But one was wondering why James Anderson. But James Anderson, when he was actually giving the interview, well, I thought he was a bit emotional. He couldn't really bear that he actually lost the match for England. But well, after all, James Anderson is a tailender, and if you get a delivery like that, which Shaminda Ranga bowled, that is very difficult for anyone to play, and especially a tailender. I thought Anderson should probably excuse himself and say that, you know, it's unfortunate that cricket is such a game that these things really happen. So, well, dear fans and subscribers, on this note, I am winding up on this Cricket Happenings show for today. Thanks for your company and thanks for watching Cricket Happenings. Keep an eye on this Cricket Happenings show, all dear friends, all 401 friends and subscribers of Cricket Happenings. I will be there. And as I said, this was just an experiment from the new place, but I'm not sure whether I'll be there tomorrow, but definitely, time permitting, you will definitely see me. As I said, keep an eye on Cricket Happenings. Thanks once again, dear friends and subscribers, for your patience and understanding. Your host Ram will be back as and when time permits. Until then, it's goodbye from your host Ram. Thank you.